The best and most powerful part about buying real estate is being able to leverage your money using a loan, but qualifying for one can also be one of the most challenging hurdles to get over in the process. The good news is it is one of the few investments that banks love to lend on, and that allows you to make money on the bank's money. Whether you are buying real estate to live in or as an investment, you are able to benefit from the value increasing no matter how much money you put down. So say if you bought a property for $200,000 and the value went up to $210,000, your home equity still went up $10,000 whether you put 3.5% down or whether you paid cash for the property. Equity is just the value of the home minus the mortgage balance. It is pretty much a way of saying how much money you could walk away with if you sold the home before any closing cost. Here you only spent $7,000 to gain $10,000 of equity, and here you spent $200,000 to gain the same $10,000 worth of equity. Paying cash for the property would be similar to buying stocks. If you buy $200,000 worth of stock and the value increases to $210,000, you made $10,000 on your $200,000 investment. So you're limited to only being able to make returns from the money that you have invested. But in the loan example, you're able to use $193,000 of the lender's money to achieve the same $10,000 return. That's why the loan is the single biggest reason that buying real estate is so lucrative. So in this video, I'm going to go over how to obtain a loan to buy real estate, mainly for the purposes of an investment. The first step is to determine what kind of investment you want to buy. For example, there are long-term rentals, short-term rentals, multifamily, office, industrial, and storage units. Let's say you want to buy a long-term single-family rental, since that's the easiest way to start and generally the most affordable. Now you have to determine how much money you will need saved as a down payment on the property. Most lenders will want at least a 20% down payment on a property you don't plan on living in. On top of that, they will also want at least 6 months of mortgage payments saved in cash to be able to pay for any repairs or vacancy that come up. So check out the prices of homes around the areas that you plan on buying. Generally, you will want to purchase homes under the median price for the area. Target properties that need some work and are outdated, but not the absolute cheapest, because those will generally be in high crime areas. For example, in my market of Central Virginia, the median price is around $350,000, and I look for homes between $220,000 and $280,000. Meaning before you are ready to get pre-approved, you'll need $44,000 to $56,000 for your down payment, and then another $10,000 on top of that to show the bank that you have reserves. A way to speed up the savings process is to use a high yield savings account and put money in the stock market. So high yield savings accounts are paying around 5% a year right now. If you save $10,000 a year or $833 a month, after 5 years, you would have $56,000, and $6,500 of those dollars would be just interest alone that you wouldn't have gotten from a normal 1% savings account. So stock returns average around 10% a year. If you take the same example, after 5 years, you would have almost $64,000, and you would have got paid almost $14,000 in interest, which is over double the amount of interest that you got paid from the high yield savings account. Also take into consideration that stocks can go down frequently and quickly. I would only use the stock market if you expect it to take over 2 years to save up your down payment, since stocks are very volatile in the short term. Once you have saved up to your goal in stocks, make sure to keep your eye on the market to make sure your balance doesn't dip below your goal number. If your balance is decreasing closer to your goal number, sell them as long as they are at a profit. Never sell them at a loss, just wait for them to come back up. Then just move that money over to a high yield savings account. Once you have your down payment saved, there are 3 main types of loans that you can use when buying a single family rental property: a conventional loan, a DSCR loan, or a hard money loan. You usually use a conventional loan when you plan on living in the property, but you can also use one when buying an investment. With a conventional loan, the lender will be looking at your personal financial information. Requirements to qualify include the same source of income for at least 1 year, a down payment of at least 20%, a debt to income ratio of no more than 40%, and a minimum credit score of 620, but for the best rates you will need a 740 or above. You can also usually renovate the property as long as it is in livable condition. Lenders define livable condition as being safe for a family to live in with every major component functioning. So the floors, roof, HVAC, kitchen, and bathrooms can all be old and in need of major updates, but as long as they are all functioning, you will be able to qualify for this type of loan. This is typically the type of loan that you want if you can qualify for it, because the interest rates are usually around 1% lower than the DSCR loan interest rates. But a conventional loan uses tax returns for income verification. So what if you are self-employed and use a lot of tax write-offs, or you just started a new job? Well, that's why they made the DSCR loan. And DSCR stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. This loan is similar to a conventional, with it being a fixed interest rate for 30 years. But when qualifying for the loan, the only personal information they look at is your credit score. And it has pretty close to the same requirements as the conventional loan does in terms of credit score, with a score of 740 or above getting you the best rate. But instead of qualifying you based on your personal income, the majority of what the lender looks at when underwriting a DSCR loan is the property's ability to make income income itself. Most DSCR lenders require the property to have a mortgage to rent ratio of 1 to 1.25. Your mortgage is what the debt service is. So they are ensuring the property's income can service the debt with an appropriate ratio. Meaning if your mortgage payment is $1,400, your rent will at least need to be $1,700 to qualify. You are also not able to live in the property using a DSCR loan. The biggest problem with the DSCR loan, other than rates being around 1% more expensive than the conventional, is that the property will need to be close to move-in ready. The lender will not allow you to do many renovations, at most only painting and cleaning, because the lender will want the property to be rented as fast as possible. Which brings me to why we have hard money loans. Hard money loans are for properties that are not in livable condition or need major renovations. Since the lenders are taking on more risk, these loans are more expensive. Usually at least a 10% interest only rate and 1 to 3 points paid up front. A point is just 1% of the loan. The loan term is also much shorter, usually around 1 year. So let's say you bought a $200,000 property that needs $40,000 worth of rehab. Most hard money lenders will let you put 20% down of the price and 0% down of the rehab. So they'll fund 100% of the rehab. So the price plus rehab is $240,000 and you put $40,000 down. So they'd be willing to give you a $200,000 hard money loan. Let's say they give you 10% interest only with 2 points paid up front for a term length of 12 months. That would mean you have to put $44,000 up front. So $40,000 for your down payment and then $4,000 for these 2 points, because 2% of $200,000 would be $4,000. And then you would start paying $1,677 every month until the $200,000 balance is paid in full. Since this is an interest-only loan, your loan balance doesn't get paid down every payment like it would with a normal mortgage. So the goal is always to pay off the hard money loan as fast as possible. One way to do that would be to, after you finish rehabbing the property, sell it and then pay off the hard money loan. But your goal isn't to sell it. Your goal is to keep it as a rental. So instead, after you finish the rehab, you place a tenant inside and then refinance into one of the loans that we talked about earlier. Once you have placed the tenant and they are paying rent, you can refinance into a DSCR loan. This example is without doing a cash out refinance, just a regular refinance. Meaning you kept the same amount of loan. You didn't take cash out or increase your loan balance. You just refinanced the $200,000 into a different type of loan. So once you refinance, your new loan will be the same $200,000 with 7% fixed interest rate over 30 years, and this will lower your monthly payment by a little over $100. Then you will be paying principal and interest, so your loan balance is now getting paid down with every payment. Now you are able to hold on to the property for the long term. Most lenders that offer conventional financing don't also offer hard money or DSCR loans and vice versa. But most DSCR lenders do offer hard money loans. So you can take advantage of being able to refinance using the same company. Whichever loan is the right one for you, the next step is to find a lender and get pre-approved for the loan. The lender will be able to help you figure out which type of loan is right for you and can even pre-approve you for multiple types of loans, in case you aren't sure how much rehab the potential property will need. Now is the time to do your rate shopping. Don't do this once you're under contract, because it will confuse and slow down the buying process. Make sure to call different lenders and get pre-approved from multiple to see who will quote you the best terms. Or you can talk to a mortgage broker who will do the shopping for you and find you the best terms. But they will charge you around 1% of the loan as a fee for this service. Whether you go directly to a lender or use a mortgage broker, make sure to explain your investment strategy and the properties you look for when they're pre-approving you. All right, well, hopefully that explains the different types of loans you can use when buying investment property and what situations to use them, as well as what you need to get pre-approved before making offers. Feel free to comment any questions you have, and if you need any help buying, selling, or investing in real estate, my information will be in the description.